Good day and welcome to Predators Proclivity, where we look at data from the season for the NHL Nashville Predators and make comments upon it and leave awkward silences in the middle of a common statement. I'm your host, Preston Proctor. Good day. Okay. So one of the things I guess I knew it, but it became a little bit more obvious to me when I was looking up the Buffalo injury list. I guess there's 5 people on the list. I guess that's not awful. Definitely have seen teams that had more, but I don't like seeing anybody injured. So, but I did notice that, I guess I had seen this already, but the NHL has taken this break between the 6th and the 24th. So if you're on the injured list, you're coming back either before the 5th or before, or on the 25th. So, some of these players, it was like, wow, that's a long way out. Like Ozzy Weisblatt's always has been the 26th forever. But if he's not going to come back by the 5th, he's not coming back until the 26th. So, yeah, it might seem worse than it actually is because there's that 3-week, 2.5-week break where they're, the Olympics are going on and the NHL is doing nothing. So, anyway, just kind of noticed that. So the first thing, I guess, is transactions. Nothing about Marcia Show, although he is off injured reserve. They did take him off injured reserve, so maybe he's back in the lineup. Entirely possible that he could be in the lineup tonight. I'm going to take a quick look here. I guess I should have done this already, but I don't. Stamkos, Marcia Show. Hey, they got Marcia Showed on the third line tonight with Wood and Zvechkov. So I guess he's really going to be back in the lineup. So that's good. A big fan of having him in. Although what did I hear? One of the things I heard was that one of the Preds' biggest problems is that at even strength, the Marcia Show being in the game has been bad. So I don't know why that would be, but that's one of the problems with the Preds. Go figure. But anyway, so no trade yet for them. There've been a few trades. San Jose got somebody from Vancouver. We know Vancouver's already kind of given up the ghost. Kiefer Sherwood is now with the San Jose Sharks for a couple of draft picks. The Golden Knights made a trade with Calgary, who's not out of it, but they gave up Anderson and traded over Zach Whitecloud and Abram Wiebe. So I guess, teams trying to make themselves better, although maybe Calgary has, Calgary's still in the wild card hunt, I'm pretty sure. One thing I did just notice is that San Jose did jump over Seattle for a divisional spot. San Jose had been in the second wild card spot. Now they're in the third divisional spot. Seattle has dropped out of a playoff spot. Calgary is down here, 47 points, 6 points out of a playoff spot. The second playoff spot being held currently by the Anaheim Ducks. The first wild card spot being held by Utah. So they're not out of it. I mean, they're 4 teams below them. So I don't necessarily think Calgary is throwing in the towel, but maybe getting, using the opportunity to make themselves better for this year, better in the future, and see where it goes, right? Carolina made a trade with the Sharks. Obviously, both of those teams are still in it. The Ducks and the Bruins made a trade. Both of them are in it. The Blackhawks and the Sharks. So the Sharks have made a couple of trades here this year. Carolina made a trade with Utah, but I Juuso Valimaki for future considerations, which I think generally that's a minor league players that they do those things for. And I think what future considerations generally means is that the other team is going to look and see, and if he eventually, turns out to be a good player for you, then they come back and go, hey, maybe a little love back in our direction. Anyway, so that's so nothing with regards to the Predators and trade. I don't. Yeah, like I said, and Marcia Show is supposed to be in the lineup, so who knows? Who knows? But anyway, we're in it. Let's just get, we're early enough in the show. Let's just get this out of the way. CozyEarth.com. Free domestic shipping on $100 orders. And what is it? I think you can, I got another email from them with $50 off. I think $50 off a $100 purchase. With the code PREDSPRO, you can get 21% off your purchase. And depending on I don't know what their shipping costs are. I don't think they have a deals area. I don't think that the promo code would apply to the deals. And I have not tried their products. Everybody and their brother seems to be endorsing them. Some big names, and I don't know. They could be good. And this bath mat that this lady's standing on, and this they got this one thing running on their front page that doesn't take very long, and it keeps running over and over again. I guess they don't expect you just to have their main page up forever. But yeah, CozyEarth.com. They've got pajamas, bath stuff, things for the home, blankets, socks, slippers. You can get puffy sheep slippers for $98 or a bamboo stretch knit long sleeve pajama set for $148. They do have their bamboo sheet set on sale, regularly $250, now $180. So anyway, CozyEarth.com, use the promo code SpreadsPro, 21% off. QuantumSquares.com, PredsPro, gets you 25% off. I've actually used their products. Just had one the other day. And brother's coming to town. We have a gift basket that we put. We've got, I don't know, we try to overdo things, I guess, here in this household. So Prudence started doing this, and I'm just obliged to keep it up. But we've got a little pack of travel supplies in the guest room in a basket. So if if somebody shows up and you're missing a toothbrush or something, there's all kinds of things in there. And then right next to the guest room is the media room, and in the media room we put a bunch of snacks and stuff in there. So my brother coming to town, I had to refresh the snack baskets, multiple. And I had to get out a couple of quantum energy squares and put them in there. So we'll, if we do, my brother did text me, listen to the podcast the other day, and said, "Oh, I guess I'm on the hook now." We'll see. It's supposed to be a snowy weekend here in Nashville. I'm not exactly sure about the game on Saturday. Saturday's game's at 2:30, Utah in town. It's supposed to start snowing on Friday, late Friday, and maybe earlier Friday. My brother gets into town on Thursday, thankfully, so the bad weather is supposed to roll in. It's supposed to be a nasty weekend. Utah, they might be able to play outside. Forget this, outdoor classic in Miami. They could just have an outdoor classic on the streets of Nashville. They'd be playing a hockey game on the Chattahoochee River. Yeah. But anyway, so set up the thing. There's some quantum energy squares in there. QuantumSquares.com. Preds Pro get you 25% off. I guess if I get my brother in here, I guess he'll have to tell me what he thinks. If he is one of our most frequent users of these the sundry and the snack things. He gets up at like 4 a.m. So he's got plenty of time before everybody else gets up. And sure, he could get a little hungry. There's a espresso maker in there. And like I said, it's right next to the guest room. So his wife can still be sleeping. He can go in there and watch some TV, have some coffee, and have a snack. And, in a couple of hours when everybody else wakes up, we can have breakfast. Anyway, QuantumSquares.com, Preds Pro, 25% off. CozyEarth.com, Preds Pro, 21% off. Fine. Now that we've got that out of the way, we have talked a little bit of hockey, which is amazing. Sorry, I got a cough drop and thought I had it out of the way, and I didn't. Tonight, the Buffalo Sabres come to town. Buffalo is 5th in the Atlantic Division with 57 points. They are 26-17-5. On the road, they are 10-11-2. They are 1 point behind Boston, who has played one more game. And they are 1 point ahead of Toronto, who has played one more game. So, what is this? This is the Atlantic, right? So the Atlantic Division, I think, is not exactly tight. 64 points is the top. That's Tampa Bay and Detroit at 64. And then 51 is Ottawa. Ottawa is our opponent Thursday night, 7 o'clock here in town. The Utah game is at 2:30 in the afternoon. So if you're planning on going to the Utah, that surprised me. Originally, thought I would be going to the game on Saturday with my brother, but we may not be doing that for a variety of reasons, one including the weather. But yeah, Ottawa is in the bottom with 51. Florida, 53. There was a big goaltender fight last night between Florida and whoever they were playing. I forget. Toronto? I don't know. All right, fine. Who was it? I guess it was on ESPN. Not the NHL. Yeah, who was this? Just since I mentioned it. San Jose? Oh, yeah, San Jose. San Jose won 4-1, but the goaltenders wound up getting in a fight. Bobrovsky, I guess, skated down the ice to get in a fight with Nettle something or another. Anyway, so the Atlantic is got a couple, what is it? Anyway, Buffalo's at 57 points, which I guess still leaves them 7 points away from the top spot. So it would not say that they are out of a divisional spot. 61 points of their 4 points. The Sabres are in a playoff spot currently. They are the second wildcard spot in the East. 4 points out of divisional spot with being currently held by the Canadiens. So, they're definitely in a fighting position for a playoff spot. For Buffalo, this is the second of a 5-game road trip. They just played last night, or yesterday afternoon, actually. It was an afternoon game. In Carolina, in Raleigh. They lost 1-2. So tonight's game is the back end of a back-to-back. I did my back-to-back analysis. We'll get to that later. Next up for them, after this 5-game road trip, they do have 2 at home. Between these two teams, it is the first of 2 versus Nashville. March 7th, they'll be in Buffalo. The weather will probably be better there than it is here. Well, today it's not too bad. It's just cold. But probably still better March 7th in Buffalo than January in Nashville. Last year, the home team did win both games, so the series was 1-1. Interesting, Buffalo scored 4 goals in both games. It's just in Buffalo, Nashville scored 3, and in Nashville scored 6. So, Buffalo scored 4. Winning goal was the third period in all of those. Their personnel injury list is long, but not, I don't know if it's necessarily distinguished. Only one of the people on the list had any stats that I picked up on, which, isn't necessarily everything. But let's just start at it. It's tough. It's a tough team to be a center on. 3 of the 5 people are centers. Number 9 center Joshua Norris is now day-to-day. He had been week-to-week. Good for him. And he's now day-to-day instead of week-to-week. He had, when I first put this all together, I think yesterday, been expected to come back February 25th, which is after the the break, right? But he's been moved up to the 31st of January, which sounds like a long time, but it's only a handful of games, so good for him. At least his recovery seems to be better than expected. Number 21, defenseman Connor Timmins is week-to-week. Everybody else is week-to-week. Like I said, Norris had been week-to-week. The only one, when I did this yesterday, day-to-day, he's actually come off. Goaltender Alex Leon, number 34, had been day-to-day expected back on the 24th, but yesterday, the 19th, he was activated. So he is back in the lineup. And now everybody else had been week-to-week. Now Joshua's day-to-day. But Connor Timmins, week-to-week, expected back February 5th. And this is where that whole February 5th, February 25th thing comes into play, right? So number 44, center Josh Dunn, week-to-week, not expected back until February 25th. So even though there's 20 days between those two expected comeback dates, you're not coming back between them. It's either the 5th or the 25th and later. So number 20 center Jiri Kulich, week-to-week, expected back on the 25th. 15 right wing Justin Danforth, week-to-week, expected on the 28th. A little different there. On the 15th of January, they did recall number 94 center. I guess I'm running out of centers here in Buffalo. Konsta Holinis from the Rochester Americans. And as I mentioned yesterday, they did activate one of their goaltenders. They've I don't know if they're playing goaltender roulette up there or what, but one of the things I noticed when I was doing the back-to-back is I think all 3 goaltenders have had a decent number of games. So, good for the goaltenders getting experience and the team still playing well in front of them. That can be tough. I have seen teams with multiple goaltenders injured, but fortunately with Buffalo, it seems like maybe it's just one. Maybe it alternates, and then they keep calling this guy up to play. I don't know. I didn't do an advanced analysis of the Buffalo goaltender situation. I kind of got out of that. I just didn't. I didn't feel like I was adding any value. I can't pick goaltenders. I was frequently wrong. So why do it? All right. Well, that's your Buffalo Sabres. The Predators. The Predators are 5th in the Central. Interesting, the Buffalo's road record and Nashville's road record is exactly the same, 10, 11, and 2. But the Preds are at home. I have to keep remembering that because I messed that up a little bit earlier. My production staff laughing at me. But the Preds are 5th in the Central with 50 points, 23, 21, and 4. At home, they are 13, 10, and 2. They are 4 points behind Utah, and they have played 1 less game than Utah. They are 3 points ahead of Chicago, and they played 1 less than Chicago. And that, it's just speaking of where things are in the division, it is kind of funny because there's a lot of, from day to day, Chicago and St. Louis are swapping places. Winnipeg hasn't recovered yet from all of their strife, let's just call it. They've got 44 points. St. Louis is at 46, Chicago at 47, and then a little bit of a gap to Nashville at 50, 54 to Utah, and then 63. I mean, there's still a 9-point gap between. Ooh, Dallas is now in the third spot. It had been Minnesota. But yeah, so well, I mean, if there's a collapse in the top three, it's possible somebody other than Colorado, Minnesota, or Dallas are going to be divisional spots for the playoffs, but unlikely. Utah in fourth place is 10 points between fourth and eighth, so that's not too bad. Winnipeg, I don't know that they can really say they're necessarily out of everything. Vancouver is 16 points out of a playoff spot. Yeah, I think Vancouver has thrown the towel in. Winnipeg at 44 is only 9 points out of a playoff spot, although they have to climb over everybody but Vancouver to get there. So, yeah, it's and then St. Louis 2 points ahead of them. But yeah, so the second wild card spot, the two wild card spots in the West are going to be kind of a fighting point. I guess actually that third spot in the Pacific seems to be up for grabs too. That division isn't settled, obviously. San Jose is 7 points behind Vegas, who leads the division. 58 is Edmonton. So they're providing some distance between themselves and the, I guess, fourth place. Fourth place would be Anaheim, 53. Yeah, so San Jose, Anaheim, Seattle, LA, all going to be fighting it out, at least for the third divisional spot. If somebody goes on a run, they could pull up and get into the first or second. So that division isn't settled yet. But anyway, yeah. So the Preds are 3 points behind Anaheim. Played one game less. Anaheim being in the second wild card spot. Nashville does have the regulation win advantage on Anaheim. They have to climb over Seattle and LA to get that spot, but Nashville has the regulation win advantage on all of those teams, which is the first tiebreaker. So if Nashville can manage to get up there, I'd like to see them, before this Olympic break, get on a run and get into one of those wild card spots. I think I'd like to see that, but I think psychologically that would be important, especially given where they were at, go into the 3-week break in a playoff spot. But yeah, they're going to have to do a little bit better than this last 10, 6-4, 7-3. They're going to have to win winning 3 in a row seems to be the best they've done this season, but they win 3 in a row, lose 1, 3 in a row, lose 1. Where does that put them? That puts them 7-3, I think. But anyway, they're going to have, maybe if they win 4 in a row, then lose 1, 3 in a row. Something like that to get over the hump and get into that second wild card spot. But anyway, this game tonight is the first of a 3-game homestand. Thursday, Ottawa is in town, and then Saturday, Utah. After that, 3 on the road, Tuesday in Boston, Thursday in New Jersey, and then Saturday, the Islanders. Personnel issues, Adam Wilsby is day-to-day, expected back on the 20th. Had been the 16th, but now the 20th. Number 89 center Ozzy Weisblatt is now week-to-week. He had been month-to-month. He's now week-to-week. The expected date back is still the same. the 26th, so after the Olympic break. On the 17th, they did activate number 81 right wing Jonathan Marchessault, who had been out since the middle of December. And on the 16th, they activated number 41 defenseman Nicholas Hague, who had been day-to-day. He did play against Colorado and Vegas. And that takes us to stats. So, what are we doing? Okay, so what do we start with? We start with Preds are at home, right? The Preds are at home. Home. The Preds are home. Let's try to read home stats. I think if the Preds are going to play here in Nashville, I ought at least, give out the stats for that. So, first goal. Oh, gee. I think they got the first goal the other night. Well, actually, they've gotten the first goal the last 3 games, 2-1 in those. So, yeah, is that right? Edmonton, they were at home, got the first goal, won the game. Okay, so they went for a long time without getting the first goal, and I guess now they've got him in the last 3, which did not help against Vegas, but they did manage to beat Edmonton and Colorado. So at home, if they get the first goal, they are 7-2-1. So even if you throw that overtime loss into the loss column, that's 7-3. So that's a better than 2-1 advantage for the Preds. If they don't, 6-8-1. So maybe a 33% advantage. But yeah, it's not. It's definitely more of a distinction if the Preds get it than if the other team gets it. Getting it in the second period has happened 5 times, twice by the Preds. They won both of those. 3 times by the opponents. They're 2-1. So they had been perfect getting it in the second period. And then the other day, I forget who came to town and got it. So 5-2-1 in the first period if the Preds get it. 4-7-1 if they don't. So, yeah, the first period, it is a little bit more of like a 2-1 advantage. But just a 2-1 advantage, but just a 2-1 advantage, but goes in both directions. So if the first goal happens in the first period, then definitely weights the game towards the team that got it here in Nashville. So if it happens in the second period, the Preds still have an enormous advantage there. 5 data points, not that much, but we talk trends, not so much statistical things because we just don't have those particular situations don't happen enough to actually have statistical significance for a team throughout the season. The broader metrics, yes, but the specific metrics, no. If you look at it, what the Preds have played, the best 48 games, right? They played 25 games at home. So 5 times the first goal has been scored in the first, so there's 20 instances where the first goal has been scored in the first period, 20 being the significant number, but there's only 8 when the Preds get it and 12 when the other team gets it. So, the specific situations probably won't even get to 20, may not get to 20. So you have to really talk about trends and not so much statistical view, but, we take a look at these statistical significant things and then we kind of dive into them and we look at the trends. So yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so let's move on. Winning by period. Wow, these numbers are just something else. Now, I keep having to remind myself, the Preds do have a winning record at home. In fact, they've got more wins than they have losses and extra period losses. So that would be 13-12, but you'd never know it looking at their record in these periods because at home they have a losing record in every period except the shootout. So in the first period, they are 5-6-14. The Preds are more likely to tie the first period than anything else, and then it's a coin flip, whatever. If they get the first goal, they have not lost the first period. They are 5-0-5. If they do not get the first goal, they have not won the first period. 0-6-9. The first goal in the first period, the Preds are 5-0-3, and the first goal in the first period, they don't get it. 0-6-6. At least there, it's a coin flip as to whether they tie or lose, but they have not won. They have not yet won a game when they did not get the first goal. And like I said, their record in the first period, 5-6-14. Second period, 6-8-11. Still more losses than wins, but more ties than anything else. When they get the first goal, it's a real coin flip, 3-3-4. When they don't, 3-5-7. And they get the first goal, and it's in the first period, 1-0-1. And when the first goal happens in the second period, and they don't get it, they're 0-2-1. Winning that period, by the way, that is. Their record, it's kind of interesting. So the second period, when the first goal happens in the second period, they're 1-2-2, but they're actually 4-1, 4-1-0. So they must turn it around in the third period when the first goal happens in the second period, except for the one game. Moving to the third period, you would think better. Nope. 7-12-6. So about as likely to lose as to tie or win. Excuse me. 7-12-6. When they got the first goal, 4-3-3, and they didn't get the first goal, 3-9. 3-9-3. But again, it does look like, especially the first goal in the first period, is going to be a decent determinant, 2-1. And then, so all those numbers are fine. They're not fine. That sounds bad. All of those records. I mean, I guess the ties aren't the worst. I mean, I guess, what at home. Sorry, I nose just started running. I was sneezing my head off earlier. I'm lucky I'm not sneezing in here, but I think pulling for a tie in the first and second was what I had been doing. But let's take a look at how all this correlates to winning the game. So the Preds, the first period, they have won the first period 5 times. They are 3-2 when they win the first period. When they lose this first period, 1-5. And then when they tie it, they're 9-5. So definitely a advantage to the Preds when they tie it. In the second period, 6 times they've won the second period, 4-2. 8 times they've lost, 1-7. And then again tying 11 times, but 8-3. So 8-3. And we'll get to the combinatorics here in a minute. The third period, 7 times. They have won the third period. They're 6-1. Losing it 12 times, 1-11. And the ties were all wins. 6 times they've tied it, and those are all wins. Now, if we take out empty nets and just consider how they play in the third period, when the goaltenders are all, haven't pulled the goaltender, 6 times they've won the third period, they're 5-1. 9 times they've lost it, 2-7. And then 10 times they've tied it, 6-4. Looking at the combinatorics, so home number of home games. What's the number of home games? Number of home games, 25. So we got 25 home games. And 7 times the most scenario of things to happen regarding the first and second period is to tie them both. Now, what's that? 1 over 3.5. So 2/7. So 28%. 28% of the time. Yeah, so 7 times they've tied the first, tied the second, and they've won all 7. The next most frequent shocker is to tie the first, but lose the second. That's happened 4 times, and that's 1, 2, and 1. And just to round out the whole tying the first, winning the second, that's not really that great of a record. 3 times, 1, 1, and 1. So, yeah. So that's tying the first. Let's round out tying the second. So if they lose the first, tie the second. This happened 3 times as well. And 0, 3, and 0. They have not won yet when they've lost the first, tied the second. And if they win the first, tie the second, that's only happened once, and that's 1, 0, and 0. 3 of the remaining scenarios have happened twice. So they've won the first twice and won the second twice. They've won the first and won the second twice. There we go. That's a better way to put it. And they're 2 and 0. Winning the first, losing the second has also happened twice. Remember, they won the first, lost the second, and they're 0 and 2. Lose the first, lose the second, they're 0 and 2. So, losing the second, winning or losing the first has happened twice, and they're 0 and 2 in both of those situations. That's no bueno. Tying the first and then losing the second has happened 4 times, so it's 1, 2, and 1. So definitely don't pull to lose the second. Don't like those numbers. Winning the second has happened. Looks like 6 times. They're 4, 1, and 1, which isn't too bad. But definitely the tying the first, tying the second, 7, 0, and 0. The problem with tying the first is that even if they win the second, they're 1, 1, and 1. I mean, somehow tying the first, tying the second is way better than tying the first and winning the second. I don't get that. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I gotta. Maybe I should look into this. That's just crazy. That is crazy. You'd think that if they tie the first, win the second, they'd have a better record than if they tied both periods, but they don't. Now I gotta look into that. This is just too funny. Too funny. Okay, so that is result correlations, and I think that takes us to goal scoring. And we start goal scoring by talking about the winning percentage, the winning goal. When is the winning goal? Thank you. Hello. Thanks for that. When is the winning goal being scored here in Nashville? 9 times it's been scored in the third period. That is the highest number, 36%. Then second is the second period at 24% with 6. Third most is overtime. And then there's a tie between first and a shootout with three for both of those, 4 in an overtime. That cracks me up. Three times in a shootout. But anyway, yeah, probably not that surprising, but every time I see that, I just think it's humorous. Here in Nashville, Preds win 5 times the third period. That's the highest percentage, 38%. So tracks right along with the overall percentage. The second most is the shootout. And then overtime, second period with 2, and then once in the first period. When the Preds lose here at home, the winning goal is equally scored most frequently between the second and third period, 4 times for both of those, and then the remaining 4 are in the first period and overtime. So 2 in the first and overtime, 4 in the second and third. So it's nice little tight numbers there. For the Preds, home team winning versus road team winning. 26 times the home team has won, 22 times the road team has won. And 31% the home team gets the winning goal in the third period. So that tracks a little bit less than That tracks a little bit less than the winning goal here in Nashville, with 7 times the winning goal being scored in the second period. So that just tracks a little bit differently than the percentages here in Nashville. The road team winning, 41% of the time, they're getting the winning goal in the third period. That's 9 times. Second most is the second period with 6, then overtime and first period. So that's your winning goal. Here in Nashville, the Preds, as far as goal scoring goes, the Preds are even with their opponents, both scoring 20 goals in the first period. Waiting 5-goal differential to the team that eventually wins the game. The Preds are outscoring their opponents 12-7 in the first. When they win, they're being outscored 8-13 when they lose. That's the first period. In the second period, it's still close. The Preds are being outscored by 1, 23-24. A bigger differential in goal scoring, 6 for the Preds, 7 for the opposition. So when the Preds win, they've outscored their opponents 16-10. They've been outscored 7-14 in the second period when they lose. And then when we get to the third period, they're being outscored by 9. Outscored by 9 in the third period. They are outscoring their opponents 14-8 when they win and 8-23 when they lose. So when they lose the game, they've been outscored 3-1. So that's definitely definitely no good. Yeah, I guess going to get outscored by that, you're going to lose. So let's take a look at the difference in goal scoring based upon how they enter the periods, the second and third period. The highest number of the scenarios, winning, tied, losing, coming into the second, third period. The most frequent scenario, 14, is to enter the second period tied. And in that scenario, entering the second period tied, the 14 times they've been outscored 12-14. But both teams tracking, coming in tied, tracking about 1 goal a game. 5 times the Preds have come into the second period winning. They've outscored their opponents 8-6 in those. 6 times they've come into the second period losing. They've been outscored 3-4. So 6 opportunities. So coming to the second period losing is not so much scoring. The third period, the most frequent scenario is to enter the third period losing. And when they've done that, they've been outscored 8-18. 8-18. 7 of those being empty net goals, but they're still being outscored 8-11 when they enter the third period losing. Again, 7 empty net goals. 9 times, almost the same number, enter the third period tied. 9 times, the Preds are outscoring their opponents 9-5. So coming to the third period, the Preds are scoring about 1 goal a game in those situations. Unfortunately, 2 of those are empty net goals, but they're still outscoring their opponents 7-5, taking out empty nets. And when they come into the third period winning, that's happened 6 times. Interesting. Entering both periods winning is the lowest number of all of them. 6 times they've entered the third period winning. They've been outscored 8-5, 5-8. And unfortunately, 2 of those goals by the Preds are empty net goals. So when they come into the third period winning, they've been outscored 3-8 in those 6 games. So scoring about half a goal a game when they come into the third period winning. I guess they're already winning, but still the opposition is scoring better than a goal a game. So that's not preferable. That is definitely not preferable. All right. And so the goal scoring takes us to matchups. Right. And so the matchups here, Buffalo. Buffalo is on the road and Nashville is at home. Right. Nashville's at home. Okay. So Nashville's at home. Let's make sure I read the right one. All right, so the Preds are home. So Buffalo Sabres have played 23 games on the road. And that looks like puts them somewhere close to the middle. 17 teams have played more, 11 have played the same, 3 have played less. The Preds have played 25 games at home, which puts them in the upper part of it. Only 8 teams have played more. 6 have played the same, and 17 have played less. So that's why I really prefer to look at things on a per game basis. Preds are at home. Right. So I get this wrong so many times. Okay. So the Buffalo is 25th in the league on a per game basis on the road. 2.78 goals scored. So at league average is 2.99. In the first period, they are 24th with 0.74. 0.84 is the league average. The second period, they come up to league minimum, league average, scoring 1 goal a game, and the league average is 0.98, so slightly above average. And then they go back down to 27th, 0.91. So it's a team that doesn't score much, but they're in a wild card spot. They can't be that bad, but maybe their road team, their home's record is a lot better. What they're like 16-6. The Preds, have the same road record as Buffalo. Buffalo is 16-6-3. So pretty much they've gotten to a wild card spot by being a really good home team. So a road team, not so much. And then as far as goals against, they are 8th in the league in being scored on, 3.43 goals a game, which is league average is 3.13 for a road team. So 0.3 higher than league average. Primarily in the second period, looks like. The second period, they're the second most scored on team on the road. 1.26 goals given up in the first period, league average 0.9, so that's 0.3, 0.36. So about a third more, right? Second period, 24th, they're one of the harder teams to score on as far as road teams, 0.96, league average 1.09. And then 12th in the league, 1.13 in the third period. So, the Buffalo seems to really prefer you to score in the first period, and then they prefer to score in the second period, and then they'll let you score in the third. So how do you like that? I mean, that's very accommodating. What about the Preds? The Preds, scored 20. They played 25 games. They're 26th in the league. Goals for 2.68. So, pretty much Buffalo and Nashville in this scenario, Preds being home, Sabres on the road, score about the same number of goals. The Preds are 23rd as far as home teams go in the first period, scoring 0.8. League average is 0.9. The second period, they're 26th in the league, 0.92. League average 1.08. And they just keep that up in the third period, 26th in the league, 0.88. Currently, the home teams are scoring less goals in the third period than the second. And the Preds, the Preds model that. On the road, just slightly. They've scored 23 goals in the second period, 22 in the third, 20 in the first. So really, the Preds are fairly even scoring goals across the different periods. Buffalo 17, 23, and 21. Like I said, more of a propensity to score in the second period for road teams. That's something. And then, as far as the Preds being scored against, not as a giving team as Buffalo, only giving up 3.08 goals a game here in Nashville, which is about 0.35 less than Buffalo gives up as a road team. The Preds are stingy in the first period, 23rd in the league at 0.8, league average being 0.84, so they are below average being scored against in the first period. So unfortunately, that's so in the second period. Let's move on. Second period, they're 19th in the league, 0.96, league average 0.98, so just below league average. That is the period that Buffalo does like to score in. But they do go up to 6th in the league in the third, giving it 1.24 goals against, with league average 1.08 for home teams, so 0.16. Fortunately, not a period that Buffalo likes to score in. So, yeah, but it'd be interesting to see. Buffalo doesn't like to score in the third, and the Preds like to give up goals in the third. Be quite the matchup. Here, you take it. No, you take it. Call that a pillow fight? Wow, that's kind of rude. Anyway, yeah, well, I guess the third period will be interesting from that standpoint. The second period, the first period should be interesting too, because the Buffalo likes to give up goals and the Preds don't like to score them in the first period. So it's kind of, and then it alternates in the third, right? The second period, kind of about the same. So yeah, it looks like Preds should, it looks like Preds should win the first, tie the second, lose the third. They love to lose the third, unfortunately. I still pull for tying the first, tying the second. I think that's a real possibility tonight. As far as special teams go, what do we have for special teams? We have the Preds are at home. Thank you. And so as far as the penalty kill goes, Buffalo is 12th in the league, 82%, 11 goals given up on 61 opportunities. They've scored 2 shorthanded goals. As far as opportunities go, 9 times shorthanded per games played, they're 28th in the league. So not that much of a team that's penalized on the road. And then goals against per games played, they're 26th. So, I guess that's pretty good. Their number of times they're shorthanded and their goals against average running fairly close. The Preds, penalty kill, the second in the league, 85% here at home, 12 goals given up on 80 opportunities. So they have given up 1 more goal on 19 more opportunities than Buffalo. They also have 2 shorthanded goals. As far as shorthanded per games played, they're 4th in the league, so a very penalized team relatively. But goals against per games played, 26th. So 4th in the number of times they're shorthanded, but 26th in the goals scored. So at least that's good. Power play. Buffalo is 22nd in the league, 16.7%, 11 goals for on 66 opportunities. They have the same number of goals against on the penalty kill as they do goals for on the power play. Almost the same number of opportunities, 61 to 66. They have given up a shorthanded goal. As far as power plays per games played, they are right at league average. They're 16th in the league. Goals for per games played, 23rd. So their propensity to get the power play is higher than their ability to score on it. I guess that explains why they're 22nd. Their rank is 22nd. The Preds are 18th here for a home team. 18.7%, 14 goals on 75 opportunities. So they've scored 3 more goals on 9 more opportunities. They have not given up a shorthanded goal. As far as power plays per games played, they're below league average, 22nd. And as far as goals for per games played, 20th. So at least the numbers, their rankings are fairly close. But yeah, so as the Buffalo seems to be able to play below league average in penalties, both for and against. And then the Preds tend to give up too many penalties here at home, but they don't get that many. So it should not. As far as I know, there's not any particular animosity between the two teams. They haven't played yet this year. They only play twice a year. So unless there's a couple of guys that just absolutely hate each other, but games should be relatively penalty free. Let's hope so. Not too many penalties. As far as what the Preds do, let me look at my special teams. The Preds are at home. So here in Nashville, the Preds are more likely to score on their power play in the first and third period. They have 31 opportunities in the third period, which is the highest. They've had 20 in the first and 26 in the second, 31. So their number of opportunities on the power play increases throughout the game, but they're only 12% in the second period. The second period power play is awful. They're at 11% overall, 7 for 61 in general. Their road numbers are worse than the home numbers, but they're just slightly. Definitely their power play in the second period definitely needs to improve. In the first period, they are running about 20%, which is higher than their league average. What was their league average? The Preds, their league average here in Nashville, 18%. And in the first period, they're running at 20%, 12% in the second, and then 23% in the third, 7 goals on 31 opportunities. Here in Nashville, they've scored 14 power play goals and given up 12. So fairly close. Only 9% in the first period, 3 goals on 32 opportunities. The number of opportunities that the Preds give up are fairly equal between the first and second. 32 in the first, 33 in the second, and then it dips to 21 in the third. So the Preds are not don't take as many penalties in the third, but give up more goals. They've just raw numbers. They've given up 3 in the first, 4 in the second, and 5 in the third. So the opposition is running at 24% in the third period, which is not good. I mean, not good. Don't like that. 5 on 21. So, there is that. Is there anything else here? Delayed penalty opportunities, empty nets, empty net goals, 7-4, majors, any numbers that just jump out here, 5 on 4, 5 on 3, 5 on, nothing really jumping, 6 on 5, 5 on 6 on 4. Nothing really jumps out here. Wasted your time, wasted my time, but hey. What else were we going to do? Anyway, so that's the special teams. The Preds, first and third period, good, especially in the third, but power play goals, if they're going to get scored, are more likely to be scored in the third period here in Nashville. The opponent's lucky to score 1 in the first, slightly more lucky in the second, but third period, and, it's the third period. Let's give the fans a show. All right, so that takes us to players to watch. And fortunately, we don't have as many. I think, what was it, for Vegas, I had 10 people listed, and there's only 20 listed, and 2 of them are goaltenders. So, so we don't have that many to talk about here. The top guy, number 72, center Tage Thompson. First in goals with 11, second in assists with 10, first in points with 21. He's 5th in time and ice, so he's going to be out there the most as far as forwards goes, 19-10. And first in shots with 89. There's this other guy, Josh Stone, who's second in goals with 8. That's his only stat. But number 26, and his number's 91, right wing. Hate to diminish that, but number 26, defenseman Rasmus Dahlin. First in assists with 13, second in team points with 17, first in time on ice with 24-29, and second on the team in shots with 57. So most of your stats are between those two guys, number 72 and number 26. Again, these are road stats, not overall stats. So they do change. Definitely it's different. So I kind of gotten annoyed. The other night when they were talking about how the Colorado's power play was the best in the league, it overall, yeah, but not on the road, or not at home. I guess they were at home, right? Not at home. At home, home it was still good, but it was not the best in the league. It was like 6th or something like that. So it really does matter. The Preds, like Forsberg is like the biggest name for the Preds, right? As far as overall stats go, but he doesn't even show up on the road. Doesn't show up. We don't talk about him at all, except number of shots. So players, it's definitely different, and it's necessarily interesting to talk about this. So Tage Thompson, number 72, number 26, defenseman Rasmus Dahlin. The guy who's also second in assists is number 71 center Ryan McLeod. All right, as I've mentioned him. They have 3 players whose shooting percentage is over 20%. One of them doesn't even play regularly for them. I mean, he's got 2 goals on 7 shots, 28.6%, but he plays for the Rochester Americans. He's come up every now and then. So he's first. Second is number 86 center Noah Ostland. He's got 3 goals on 14 shots, 21.4%. He did play against Carolina last night, but I guess didn't take a shot. And then injured, number 20 center Jerry Kulich. He's injured, so I guess it doesn't. So his stats aren't necessarily that interesting. But he's 20%. He's got 1 goal on 5 shots, which really isn't that much. Just taking another look here. Ostland, where's Ostland play? Ostland centers the third line. Ooh, Hellenus. Hellenus just came off Hellenus just got called up. So they got Doan, number 91 Doan. Is that Doan from number 91 Doan? Sorry, Josh Doan. No, I guess I'm thinking of some guy played for Phoenix years ago. But yeah, so again, the third line. Hellenus just got called up. Ostland's got 21.4% shooting percentage, and then Doan. And we know the Preds do have a problem with third line scoring, and there they are. So Benson, Thompson, and Tuck are on the first one. So Thompson. Oh, Josh Doan. Yeah, that's interesting. Thompson, who's got the most goals, he's on the first line. Doan is on the third line. So the guy who's second in goal scoring when Buffalo is on the road is on the third line. So, yeah, I think we definitely need to worry about this third line. And then this is interesting. So the guy who's second in assists is on the second line. So the goal leader is on the first line. The assist leader is a defenseman. So, and then the guys who are second in goal scoring and second in assists are all on different lines. Thompson, Doan, McLeod. I could say that wrong. I realized there was a guy the other night whose name I just butchered. They were some guy, I forget what team they were playing, Vegas, I guess. I just butchered his name. I pronounced it phonetically, and that was wrong. But yeah, tonight, their spreading is between. So the Buffalo's goal scoring is spread out between their lines. It's not like, when we looked at Colorado, the goal scoring leader, the assist leader, the shot, they were all on the same line. These guys are on different lines, and this third line, Hellenus being called up, Ostland with the shooting percentage, Doan second in goal scoring. This third line is going to be dangerous for us. So, hopefully, we've got Woods, Svechkov, and Marchessault, our third line. So I guess we'll see how that turns out. So anyway, so watch out for the third line. I guess Buffalo is one of these teams where things, they're spread out between the different lines. That's great. That doesn't seem to be working out for them so well on the road, but I guess they've got their own road problems. Anyway. So that's Buffalo on the road. What about Nashville at home? Well, at home, we do get to see number 9 left wing Philip Forsberg first in goals with 12, first in points with 20, first in shots with 78. Then comes number 91, Steven Stamkos, center Steven Stamkos. He's second in goal scoring with 11, third in shots with 62. I guess he and Ryan O'Reilly are the two guys we can talk about both home and away, Stamkos and O'Reilly. O'Reilly is third in goals with 7. He's first in assists with 13, tied first in points with 20. Third now in ice time, so he's the forward on the ice the most, 2017. Roman Josi is first in ice time, 22-47, number 59 defenseman, Roman Josi. And he's third on the team in assists with 10. Second on the team in assists with 12 is number 77 right wing Luke Evangelista. I guess he's first in assists on road and second in assists on at home. So he's somebody else we get to talk to. But here at home, he's third in points with 16. He's second in shooting with 63. And so that's pretty much it right there. Oh, yeah. Well, Mr. Stat, number 9, he's center Ryan O'Reilly. I mentioned him. Did I go through his stats? Yes, I did. Okay. So I didn't want to slight him. Again, 49 Reed Schaefer. Yeah, for the Preds, if there's a 9 in the number here in Nashville, watch out. Number 9, Forsberg, 91 Stamkos, 90 O'Reilly, 59 Roman Josi. And then for a while, 49 Reed Schaefer had a good shooting percentage, but doesn't now. And 36, divisible by 9, Cole Smith, but he doesn't have a shooting percentage right now. 77, is that divisible by 9? 14? No, I guess not. Anyway, but yeah, if there's a 9, watch out. Yeah, I guess there you go. So that's the players to watch. How about momentum? Buffalo on the road, 10-11-2. They do have a 2-game losing streak coming in tonight. They are 0-1-1 in those 2 games. One was last night, the first game on this road trip. It was the back end of a back-to-back. So they did lose. No. This is the second game. It was the front end of a back-to-back. Tonight is this back end of a back-to-back. They are 6-3-1 in their last 10. They did finish off December with a 10-game winning streak. So they do have a lot of potential in them. What I didn't look at was where were those games played at home at yeah, most of those were on the road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of those 10-game road games were on the road. So they only played 3 games. So their road, wow, 7 win. They are 10-11-1. 7 of those, their road wins came in that one streak. That's pretty sick. They did finish off 10. So they're 0-1 so far in this road trip. They were 1-0 on their last road trip. They are 5-5-2 against the Central Division. Taking a look at their back-to-back records, in the back-to-backs games, they are 7-6. On the road, they are 3-5 in back-to-backs, and in this particular situation where they are the back game of the back-to-back on the road, they are 3-2. They have not won in a road game in a back-to-back situation that was the front half. They've lost all 3 of those, and I guess they've had a couple of. They've had more road games as the back half. What have they got? 3 times both games were on the road, and they had one back-to-back where they were at home. They won both of those. And then 3 times they had a back-to-back and they were home and away. So the first one being Toronto. They had played Toronto in consecutive games in a back-to-back situation, a home and away. So I guess both of those teams were in the same situation. That's so funny. The Friday, Saturday. And but anyway, yeah, so not stellar. No, as far as they do have 10 wins in back-to-back situations. But they haven't won a lot of these. So anyway, yeah. So moving on, nothing terribly interesting about this. They don't have that great of a record in away games. 3-5, but there's 3 wins. So, let's see. Luukkonen played last night. I'm guessing Ellis will be in goal. That was who was in the 2 that were in goal before that. They've had Luukkonen, Ellis, and Leon at various times in all of this. So, hard to say. Anyway, for Nashville here at home is 13-10-2. They did lose their last game. That ended a 3-game winning streak. They're 6-4-0 in the last 10. Their last homestand, they were 3-1. And against the Atlantic, they are 4-3-1. So should be a good game. Probably not a lot of scoring, but I guess we will see. Like I said, a big pillow fight in the third period. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, that's tonight's game. The Buffalo Sabres at Bridgestone Arena, 7:00 tonight. Go Preds. Thanks for listening. I'm Preston Proctor, and you've been listening to Predators Proclivity.